Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, it's early. It's only 7:30. How are you? I definitely need the coffee today. Wow. Now, I'm normally up early, but early and dressed and ready to head out the door? Yeah. And I'm not necessarily what I call firing on all cylinders, if you know what I mean. Like my eyes are open, but I'm not sure I'm actually seeing. How are you doing today on this fine Wednesday? You know the drill. Grab your beverage. I love this cup, except that it's hot and it's hard to hold. But it's so stinking cute. And this is the mug that I chose for today. Why am I coming on so stinking early? Great question. I'd love to tell you. So they have a nationwide networking event called A Million Cups. And basically the premise is that people all over the United States get together. I don't know if it's the same time, the same day. I want to say it's the same time, but that wouldn't make any sense because 8 o'clock Eastern is in the middle of the night on the West Coast. So I'm not really sure how it works, but the premise is that 1 million people come together to help each other with their businesses. And so they do these things called A Million Cups. And it happens every week in a town nearby, which is about 30 minutes away. And businesses come together to support each other. A business is featured. They bring a problem, an obstacle, a situation that they need some advice. They need some help. They need some perspective. And the audience gives them that. And I've not gone before. Well, I went once, but it was not in the typical format. It was more like a presentation. And so, yeah. So today I've decided to go. There's actually a gentleman there that I have seen a lot of, and I can't remember if I actually met. Isn't that terrible? That's really terrible. Sometimes, many times, more often than not, I meet people and then I don't even remember meeting them. And I feel terrible, absolutely horrible, because it's not that they're not memorable and it's not like I didn't like them. I just have met so many people that my daughter says that the hard drive is full. There's so much information up in there, it's just full. And just like my phone, I haven't gone through and deleted the stuff I no longer need. I started doing that the other day, by the way. Have you decided to do that? How many have you taken pictures of, I don't know, a ticket that you need to make sure you have, or a confirmation code, or Amazon codes, or what you had for dinner, or a beautiful thing of flowers. And then it just sat on your photos and you just forgot about them. And now all of a sudden I have a terabyte of hard drive and I've almost used it all up. So I'm in the process of deleting. What I didn't know was that I used to work with a personal trainer. And on the days that I wasn't with her, she would send me videos of the exercises. And each time she sent me a video, it saved. And it wasn't in my photos. It was saved as an attachment, which I didn't realize was actually happening. And so, I mean, I worked with her for over a year. So I've got like many. And each day was like 5 exercises or more. And so, yeah. So now I'm going back through, and there was an easy way to do it, because in settings under general, there's storage. And if you click storage, you can see how much storage you've used and what is being the big culprit, which for me is photos and videos. And then it says large attachments. And I looked and I deleted them. And then I went out. They're all gone. I went out. I come back in. There's more there. So they only load so many. And so I'm in the process of deleting them to make more room. But I have difficulty doing that with my brain. So if I ever run into you when I'm out and about and I look like a deer in headlights, or I do like this, oh, it's great to see you. If I put my finger like this, that is your cue to fill in your freaking name. And I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to say, I know you. The other day I walked into a luncheon. Oh my God. I walked into this networking luncheon for the first time. And I walk up and there was a seat like in the middle. There's this long rectangular table. And in the middle, up against the wall, was a seat. So I was like, well, is that one taken? They said, no. So I go to get by. The people move out and I go to get in. And as I look up, there's a woman sitting there. And I was like, I know you. I have no idea. I was like, is she the woman that spoke at that event? I don't think so. Is she the woman who I met? And it ended up to be a woman that I met at this Million Cups when it wasn't the normal format, like about a month ago. Very interesting. Very interesting. Interesting how our mind works. I even took a mnemonics class. Do you know what mnemonics is? Okay, so our minds remember in pictures way easier than, words or letters and things like that. Visualize a picture or a story. That's how our minds remember best. And mnemonics teaches us how to basically create stories so that we remember. I'll give you an example. For names, I took it because I have a little bit of a challenge remembering people's names. And it's funny because I can remember kids' names and I can remember dog names, but I can't remember it. I can't remember dog names. I'll say like, you're Maverick's mom. Why is it I can remember kids and dogs and not adults? That just mind blowing. So I took this mnemonics class in the hopes that it would help me. And it was very interesting because certain things, for me, my name is Amy, right? And so the person doing the class said, I look at your face and I pick out a small distinguishing feature. And then I create an image that is associated with your name. Hey, Donna, it's great to see you this morning. You're up early. So welcome. Grab your beverage. You're probably drinking it if you're up this early. So he would say, for Amy, I think of army, an army of men. And I have a really small little scar on my nose where I fell when I was a kid. And he says, I see the scar on your nose. So I would just envision an army walking across your nose. And then when I see you, I see the scar and I see army and I think Amy. So shortly thereafter, while I was in that class, I met a woman named Kanisha. I could not remember this woman's name. Now, I did a really bad thing, and I didn't do it tied to a feature that wouldn't change. But I figured if I tied it to a feature that was currently present, that I would remember her so much that when I saw her, even if this feature was gone, I would still remember her. Yes or yes? It's kind of like you have to get over the hump, and then it's in the long-term memory banks. So her hair was cropped on the side and it was spiked on the top. So I looked at her and I'm thinking, how can I remember her name? Kanisha. Can of slaw. To this day, I remember her name, Can of Slaw. I don't know that I would remember her face now. I always remember faces. Always remember faces. Names escape me sometimes. So I said Can of Slaw because it looked like slaw sticking out of a can. Terrible. I would never tell her that's how I remembered her name. But when I saw her, I'd be Can of Slaw, Kenny Shaw, and I would be able to remember her name. And the problem with that is when you're at a networking event, if you do not already have images, like if you meet a bill, you either need to have a dollar bill that you put somewhere on them, or you need to have a duck bill that you envision when they say their name, and then it's easier to remember. I don't have all those pictures for everybody's names. And nowadays, names are not like Bill and Steve and John. They're Kanisha. And I don't have things already in my memory banks. And it's not necessarily to associate it with somebody else, although a lot of people do that. It's to actually create somewhere on their face that memory. And if you can tie it to what's it called, a feeling, it will stick even better. Like if the army of men had sapiers or something and were stomping on the nose, that I would remember obviously more. So I took that. It obviously, as you can tell, didn't necessarily work. And so it's tricky. It's tricky. I am never offended if people can't remember my name, because I have this thing where I struggle a little with names. So I'm always the first one to say, "Hey, how's it going, Amy? How's it going?" And I just, and they could say, "Yeah, I know, Amy. I remember you." That's fine. But at least they're not struggling going through their memory banks. Remember when we had Rolodex? I was going to say going through their Rolodex looking for your name. Yeah. So it's like sometimes I look at them, I'm like, the name started with an R. Do you do that too? Your name starts with an R. It's not Robert. It's, I can't think of the name. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm going to this networking event. It starts at 8:30, which means I need to leave here in about 10 minutes to get there to meet some new people. And then I'm going right from there. Literally, I'll probably leave a few minutes early and drive across another 30 minutes to another networking function, because a friend of mine, Tiffany Ball, is having a coffee networking function in Fairfax, which is another 30 minutes. And I really want to support her. It's challenging her. I love what she does. However, the events just never seem to land at a time where I can do them in a location I can do them in. They're an hour away and I can't get there and back before something else I have planned, or they're planned at a time that I have something else scheduled. And I finally have one that I can go to. So I'm schlepping my fanny another 30 minutes to this other event. And in the hopes that I can meet some new people and see if I can assist them or shed light or perspective. And I'm seriously looking forward to that too. And then I come home and practice my talk. You hear this every day. Every day I practice my talk. I did it last night. It went really well. And I'm still tweaking, believe it or not, I'm still tweaking a few things. And yeah, the other thing that I did last night, do you have a printer? I have a printer. It's a color printer. And it always gets to the point where the color just stops printing right. I put in the cartridges, and for some reason, even though it's a full cartridge, the red isn't working, or, you know, whatever. And I clean the head and it's still not working. And it just gets to a point where it's just not worth it. It's just better to go out and get a new one. So it's a couple years old. It may be time for a new one. It sucks. You know what else sucks is when your phone runs out of space. So I told you about the fact that I'm deleting photos and all of that. And since I am going to France on Saturday, I looked into international plans. Now, it's been a hot minute, like before COVID, since I looked into international plans for the phone. And my carrier, Verizon, used to do $10 a day. Well, if I'm over there for 2 weeks, that's $140. That's a lot of money to be able to use my phone. And I know I've now learned that they used to have SIM cards that you could get when you get in country. You could go to a store and get a SIM card and replace your SIM card, right? To get service. And now they have them electronically. Did you know this? They have electronic SIM cards. And I didn't quite understand with my limited knowledge of technology I don't even know how they work, but what do I need? Okay, so they said it covers data. So what happens if I need to use my phone to make a phone call? Right? Like I just want to, or what if someone calls me? Maybe I get a business call and I pick it up. Does that mean I get per minute charges? If I don't, what? If I just have a data plan? And then it says you get so many gigabytes for so many dollars. Well, how many gigabytes am I going to need? I don't know how many gigabytes it takes, what the average is. What am I using it for? Anybody else feel this? Does anybody else? So I did what any normal person would do. I went to talk to a person. I love technology, you guys. I do when it works. But I sometimes, many times, need to friggin' just talk to a person and have somebody explain it to me to my face. So I went into the Verizon store locally and asked a bunch of questions. Well, their plans, lo and behold, have changed over the last, 5 years? Yeah, over the last 5 years. So they no longer do $10 a day. They do $10 for 3 days. Wow, like that's a heck of a steal deal. It's unlimited. I thought, well, that's interesting. And then they have a whole international plan. And you can turn the plan on and you can turn the plan off. And when you turn the plan on, it includes unlimited data, text, and phone calls. I'm sorry, what? I was like, well, I just want my phone to work like it does here over there. Make it simple, make it easy. I don't want to have to download when I'm there and find Wi-Fi to download while I'm in the airport. And then I've got to right? So they made it really easy. I go onto their website. I can get their app. I can do it on their app. I can call. I can go into the store and I can hit a button and for my phone and it turns on the international plan. And when I'm done, I move it back to the plan that I was on and it turns it back to the other plan. Now, is the new plan like $100? No, it's like 10 or 20. For me, I think it's $20 to go from where I'm at on the basic plan to the high end, everything included international plan is $20 for 30 days. Okay, that's pretty much no-brainer. And that means that I don't have to do anything different. I don't have to turn off roaming. I don't have to put it on airplane mode. I don't have to download anything. I don't have to initialize it when I get there and run into a problem. I literally seamlessly get on a plane here. And when I land in France, my phone works and I'm not charged $1 million for roaming and all this other stuff. So if you're looking to travel, FYI, it's not as expensive as you once was or as expensive as you may think. You should check out your carrier. If it's not Verizon, check out your carrier. I'm sure it's something competitive, right? In this day and age, with so much competition, they had to lower their rates and be competitive. And this is what they came up with. And I love that. Absolutely love it. Makes it so much easier for me. I would rather pay the $20 and then when I come home, put a reminder in my phone to just turn it off. So that's all I want to talk to you about today. Wealth of information. You're welcome. You're welcome. How your mind works on remembering names. You can remember mine by the army walking across my nose, or the army walking across my eyebrow that half the time isn't there because it's getting thinner and thinner and I have to do something so that you can actually see it. Or come up with names, pictures for people's common names. Like John, maybe you think of a toilet. I don't know. What other image would think of a John? Yeah, I don't know what other image you would think of if you heard John. Or what's another one? Sue. Maybe think Suey and think of a little pig walking across. And that's Suey. And that's the person's name is Sue. I don't know. But come up with some pictures to put on the people's faces when you meet them and see if that helps you. It doesn't help me. So now I just tell people, do this, and I'll fill in the blank. Hey, how's it going? I'm like, Amy, how are you doing? How are you doing? And they say, John. I'm like, oh yeah, toilet face. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So you learned about mnemonics. You learned about international plans. What else can I tell you today? Today's a learning lesson. Today's all about different things that I've learned recently, and or not so recently, but some things that I've learned. And that's really it. I got to leave in like 3 minutes. I actually was heating up my breakfast because it's a little early. I'm not very, very hungry because I'm not quite awake. So I'm heating up my breakfast. I'm going to throw it in a Tupperware. And in the car, between the two, I will eat my breakfast. What is my breakfast today? It's red pepper sausage and mushroom sausage, chicken sausage, with, I think I'm going to do either raw green beans. I really like raw green beans. You can always heat them up. It's not a big deal. But maybe some raw green beans or sugar snap peas. I love sugar snap peas. Maybe a combination. Maybe a little each. Living on the edge. And so I'm going to do that in the car. And it's finger food. It's not too messy. And then when I get home from the second networking event, I will have my lunch. So, bon appetit. Cheers. I hope that you make it the most wickedly wonderful Wednesday. And I will be back at you when? Tomorrow. You never know when I'm going to come on, but I'll be on tomorrow. Have a great day.